Hello, Susan Yockey here, and welcome to Rewrite Your History, How to Heal the Past and Create a Bold, Courageous Future. And I am so excited to have you with us today as I introduce our next expert speaker, Martin Cohen. I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about Martin. I am super excited about having this man on this interview series with us. He's fabulous. You're going to love him. So Martin has a profound understanding of the differences among women and men. His coaching has equipped countless partners to move to the next phase of their lives with a deeper understanding of each other. And the results speak for themselves. More than 20,000 individuals and couples are experiencing consistent success and productivity at home and in the workplace. These people have left mediocrity behind and have embraced the extraordinary. So why is Martin such a ladies' man? Well, Martin believes, first off, I have to say one, because he's handsome, but Martin also believes in the power and the possibility of who women really are and the impact that women have on the destiny of our world. Martin leads workshops throughout the country in breaking the code, empowering women to see their greatness, distinguishing female and male energies. Martin coaches women and men through a language-based gender balancing process which uncovers innate qualities that have been hidden over time. Within those qualities, an imbalance has surfaced among the female and male elements, creating internal conflict, preventing women and men to be fully realized and creating an automatic conflict between them. Discovering balance between your female-male energy allows for freedom, power, and transcending the limitations of gender bias and inherited limiting conversations. So welcome, Martin. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Susan. I'm so happy to be with you and all the people that are participating.
Thank you. Well, I guess let's get this party rolling. So my first question for you is, tell me a little bit more about yourself and your history.
Sure. Well, it was back in the early days. I was 15 years old. I was in a creative writing class. And in the class, before we wrote anything, what was on the how we would do it is to respond to a question before we wrote anything about that question. And the question in front of the class was, what is the greatest untapped natural resource on the planet? Now, we're looking now in 1954. So my fellow students went up before me and they spoke technological breakthroughs in putting a man on the moon, having particular serums and vaccinations to actually cure or heal diseases that were present back then, like polio and various other diseases. And they would also speak about areas of technology that I may not even be familiar with. I'm not at the computer level. So that's what the conversations of the students were. And then I went in front of the room, and of course I started with the question, what I assert is the greatest untapped natural resource on the planet are women. And there was silence for more than just a few seconds, and then a burst of laughter. And the laughter was really something, except I heard the laughter as the truth is being told about something, and here is God Almighty saying, stay with it, Martin Cohen. The laughter is just a little test for you. So the test evolved into my teacher. Her name was Miss Rose Port. She came over to me and pulled me into her corner, and she said, Martin, what are you talking about? And I said, Miss Port, they're different, but they're really different. What do you mean they're different? Ms. Porter, I've been doing a lot of studying and listening to the girls and women and the boys and men. And the same question has two completely different responses. But it's not even like apples to apples. It's like apples to a dinosaur. It makes no sense whatsoever. So I chose to break it down, and I made some rather fascinating discoveries, of which, of course, I had to check with people around me who love and respect me. So some of the things, just so as it looks like I may have caught you now saying, even again, what is he talking about? So let me say what I'm talking about. Let's talk about the basic things. How a woman thinks fundamentally and how a man thinks fundamentally. So I assert the way a woman listens to something coming out of her, coming to her, is that she can hear simultaneously the past, something from her or the past, present time, what's occurring, and listening to it from the future. And she's listening to it all together, like all of it's going on at the same time. And she's actually with it, assimilating it, like, well, of course that's what I hear. Of course that's what we're talking about, past, present, and future. And then I discovered how men listen to what's right in front of them in present time, with not looking necessarily at the past, but most certainly not looking into the future, and they're responding in kind to what exists in front of them. So you have a man listening here and now, you have a woman listening past, present, and future, and we talk about communication and advanced levels of communication. We can't even come close until at least I understand where this woman is listening from, and she understands where I am coming from. Now we have a whole different conversation. Then as I peeled the onion more and went deeper and deeper, I discovered where we are total human beings is that there is a woman and a man in each of us. But like really, like scientifically and neurologically, from the hormonal aspects, from the historical levels, from the time of the condition of patriarchy till present time, there is the woman and man in each of us. And all the way back when there was, the woman required the man out of necessity for protection, for food, for shelter, and that man was necessary. But over the last 50 years, and it started before the 50 years, but very powerfully in the last 50, and I'd probably say in the last 10, is the women no longer need us. They don't need us for that. And the more we feed into that they need us, it gives men a false sense of that we know something or that we can do something beyond what a woman can do. Because, of course, she needs me. Only to find out that that is antiquated. It's an old paradigm. But even the source before that is that if, in fact, there is the female and male energies within all human beings, and my female and male energies are not in balance, that there in essence is a conflict within my own self, in this case your own self, between the woman and man inside you. So here the dilemma becomes that much more a conundrum about how can I understand the opposite sex. It's impossible because I am out of balance with the woman and man within me. Then I began to break the words down like an epistemology of the root of the word. And in some languages in the world, every word has a male or female aspect to it. We don't have that in the English language. So when you're speaking, it's the whole of everything, which actually doesn't even distinguish male, female. It's as if it doesn't exist. But then again, we operate as if the woman and man are outside us rather than getting, wait a second, how can I understand her if I don't actually get these two principles, these two distinctions that are alive within me in relationship, aligned in communication? Because if they could understand each other within me so I could understand them understanding or misunderstanding each other, I'm going to be able to be in relationship at a whole other level. If it's true that communication is the source, the heart of love, communication, and the more you and I communicate with each other and we're locked in a room and we continue communicating, actually you would find a particular intimacy or connection that we are more alike than we have any idea. But if the root of it is that you are so different, for me to embrace our differences, for you to embrace his difference, and him to embrace your difference, it's such a crapshoot. We're lucky when we connect. And there's a good feeling when we do, but I'm going to say 95% of the time, we don't really connect. And men lie about it, and women are literally, it's laid upon them that they should understand us, because if we understand, well, they should understand. Oh my God. That's not even close. They're listening to Martians and we're listening to Venus, or whatever John Gray said about that. Except it was what he said some years ago still is not simplistic enough to get to the heart of the matter. See, something complicated has wisdom to it when it could be shared in a simplistic way. And so what has happened to me over the last 50 years is I've been a litmus test for people in ascertaining what my experience is after asking them questions, how much male and female percentages they have of each other and which one is running the show. So certainly over the last 20 years, women have picked up a heightened level of male energy and men have picked up a heightened level of female energy. And I'm really primarily talking to a heterosexual audience, but this could also include a same-sex audience as well, because the male and female is in all of us in human beings. So what am I talking about? We can look at anything. We could say water is what energy? Well, I'm going to say water is a female energy and fire is a male energy. That kind of makes sense. I'm going to say spirituality is a female energy and the physical world, the linear world, is a male energy. I'm going to say that compassion is a female energy and passion is a male energy. Now, you can't hear me now like being attached to your own gender. If you're going to listen to me as if you're attached to the woman you are, or listen to who attached to the man you are, you're not going to be able to hear me, because we've been grown up to be attached to a gender that we didn't even choose. We just got thrown into the universe. Martin, you're a boy, you're a man. Mm-hmm. Well, how do I know I'm a man? Well, my mother and father told me that I'm a boy and a man, and I'm watching the movies and TV, and I'm listening to people in school, and there's a way to act and speak and understand as a man, and there's a whole different way to act and speak and understand as a woman. We were not even close. It's a miracle that we got to this point. So what is this untapped natural resource that women are? Just astonishing. Women are giving us what they think we want from them. Oh my God. And these are smart women. They think we want what we think we want too, which is this, and this. There's an attraction. I could feel the chemistry. I'm turned on. Back in primal times. No. You know what a woman wants from me? She wants me to be fun, like my childlike self, naturally fun. Fun like in a fundamental way, in a way that she is not. There's a greater complication, past, present, and future. But someone like a man who's fun, all of a sudden, it stops her that this one can have fun in that moment of now. She wants from the man to be certain and clear. Certain and clear in a way that he's not being dominating. He's not telling her to do this or do that, but he's saying it from a place of love and affection. Susan, I'd like very much to take you out to dinner this Saturday night at 8 p.m. If I may have your address, I'd like to pick you up. If you can have a theme for the evening and wear all black, I would so enjoy picking you up promptly at 8 o'clock, and the rest of the night is up to me. And I'm so excited about being with you. Will you join me?
Of course. Yes.
So you could speak it where my speaking is inside Susan, the woman's identity, like I gave up my identity to be inside her identity. And I'm speaking to her in a way that's not ordering her, but being certain so she doesn't have to think, because when women think, we get in trouble. Now, women could speak and be with women and understand, because it's like listening to music to each other. They could connect to that. As soon as a man comes into the mix, everything changes. She questions herself. What does he think? What am I thinking? What am I here for? Oh, yeah, I got to worry about that. Is he the one or is he not the one? So, understanding the woman and man within you and creating space for you to acknowledge and recognize the man and woman in you by how you're behaving and the words that you're saying, and you observing yourself without judging yourself, all of a sudden, that predominant feeling of your male energy as a woman, if you could notice, oh, look at that. I could feel my male energy generating right now. Position, being right, trying to prove something, being competitive, whatever the male energy, and that you see her bring it. So she now notices her male energy. She acknowledges it. There's my male energy. And then she lets go without passing any judgments about whether there's something wrong with her or maybe she's misunderstanding it all. But if she could just notice the male energy with no judgment, it actually will fall away. And guess what will reveal itself? The energy that women are most resistant to, which is their female energy, actually comes to the surface because she did not make self wrong about speaking or being or behaving with male energy. Now, it's actually this simplistic, but this is so simplistic, you're gonna make it complicated. And it's not so easy to notice your energy and not judge yourself, that there's something off or wrong about you, the woman. If I tell you there is nothing wrong with you as a woman, even if you think there's something wrong, even if we think there's something wrong, there is nothing wrong with you. You are a treasure, a gift, a resource for men to be far greater than who we are. With you, we would show up as great men, because all you really want to do, all we as men want to do, men are fundamentally generous, more generous than you have any idea. We love to give and give and give. Women love to receive for the purpose of giving back to us more than we are giving them. And then all of a sudden it's, oh my God, look at this dance. She's giving me back something far beyond anything that lived inside of me before. And all I'm doing is loving her, being truthful with her, creating the way she can see a future in the way I can't. And out of her seeing that I'm that kind of a man, human being, she will give me her all. Not 90%, because we make her wrong for the 10% that she's not putting all out. We will give her everything when she is giving us 100% of herself. Now, is it easy for a woman to give 100% of herself? No, because her giving 100% of herself for thousands of years being overruled, dominated, there's something in there. Who is that once said something? In the Bible, we think the first woman created was Eve. She wasn't. The first woman was this woman called Lilith. So Adam asked for a companion. He came down, he was alone, he asked for a companion. God, who had this amazing relationship with Lilith, the woman, said, Adam, I will take care of you. And poof, Lilith showed up. But guess what? Lilith wasn't a happy camper being with Adam and not being with God. And Adam was certainly not empowered, and Lilith wanted to be there like a hole in it. She looks up to God and says, what did you put me into? So guess what? Lilith went back to God. But that little tiny kernel stood inside women for all time. Not that I'm talking about anything wrong or bad with women. You can't hear it. But that part that's unspoken, that has the man show up as foreign or superior or not who I am as a great woman. And that filtered all the way down into some amazing women. Now, I'm not talking about Mother Teresa, because there's an aspect of Mother Teresa that lives in all of us as well. And Mother Teresa is not what you would call a nice woman. She is one of the toughest women you ever saw. She'll be with a rich group of people asking for money, and if they give money that she has the instinct is a walk in the park for them, or won't have them be uncomfortable, like feel there's something at stake, she'll say something like, Mr. Smith, I think you should keep your money, because you're not going to feel the money you want to give me. You have to give me $100 million. You give me $100 million and watch how you're going to understand what it is to give and what it is to make a difference in people's life. And when I heard Mother Teresa speak about that at the United Nations, because I was in a leaders program with her great niece, and I learned a lot about her before I went to listen to her. She had this group of professionals, high-level men talking about the conversation abortion. So I hope you don't think I'm speaking politically right now. Actually had us get what it is to abort something inside a woman. I'm telling you, the men, and I was in the group, our jaws opened up. All of a sudden, we saw a perspective of not only who a woman is and the resource, but where our integrity as men was completely not aligned with the gift and resource women are in regard to life and death and the future. And it is connected to the unborn. But that's another conversation. I don't want to get off that much. So what I do and what I teach and what's in this book of mine called Gender Balancing, which is balancing the imbalance within you of women and men, and you doing the work. And it is different if I or if someone trained in gender balancing worked with you, and who knows what work me and Susan and you people are going to do into the future, and we might. I would be honored to be with you in balancing your imbalance like mine and your life was at stake. And in many ways it is. So I don't know. Oh, so I said to you, a difference is women come from a perspective of past, present, and future. Men primarily are grounded in here and now. What else is different? What women want from men is to be fun, childlike, in a way that she's not. She wants us to be certain and clear so that she can actually give up having to do it herself or think about it, because it goes right through past, present, and future, and it hits her in a very loving way. And what else she wants from us is for us to be the lover generators that she knows and we know we are. I remember asking a whole group of men, do you know that you are really a great lover or a hopeless romantic? Do you know that? And you would see some of them and say, how do you know that about me? Because they actually believe that's really who they are. Now, I'm not saying that women would necessarily say that, but men are hopeless romantics. And we are so in the now that the little things we do is not only cute and adorable, but it's actually part of a building process that women actually flourish when they are authentically loved for who they are. And they're loved even for who they're not, but they're loved in its entirety, like as if they could be any other way than the way they are, or that we're going to try to, quote, change them. Give me a break. You're not going to change her the way she thinks she could change you. And that's when women and men get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
A lot of trouble. So what women want from men is the fun, the certainty and clarity, the love generated to be there, and she wants profound respect from her man and men. I don't mean like doing respect. I don't mean like opening a door and closing a door, but profound respect for her way of being, her words, her mannerisms, her moods, her loves, her angers, that we actually are so there with her that takes precedence over anything else. You know, some of the happy and amazing relationships I have seen through the years, the couples who are the happiest seem to be the most surprising, or not what you would think would be the ideal couple. So when I ask the women, which women actually have had men reduce you as a beautiful woman to you having experience of at some point that you're ordinary, mediocre? And you actually saw women raise their hand. And then we ask the same question to men only. Which men have reduced beautiful women, smart, bright, great women to ordinary? Which of us have done that? And you get a courageous group of men, more so lately than in the past, who say, yeah, I've done that. Yeah. And you were not necessarily conscious, but you were doing that. And it's really just awesome to see how the truth is spoken in that way.
Yeah.
A woman wants profound respect. And the older a woman gets, the more profound respect becomes correlate to being loved.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are being fun, certain and clear, a lover generator, and profoundly respectful, I assert a woman has it all. And she doesn't need a whole lot more than she thinks and you think. But she is being honored and respected. She's being with a childlike person who's a mature, evolved man, but loves the simplicity and fun in life. He's certain and clear, and in being certain and clear, he has a commitment to give her what he knows she wants and needs. Wow. Now, what does a man want from a woman? That's completely different. First, he wants her to be safe. Safe for him to be the schlemiel he is and the great man he is, without you judging him. And that's very, very hard for you ladies, to be that safe, because the men are hyper sensitive in the moment of now. So he breaks like glass and doesn't say a darn thing to you, how that judgment that you had, that you think he didn't pick up, how deeply he got hurt. It could even be a look that you gave him. It could even be a rolling of the eyes. It could be turning your head. It could be something as simple as, give me a break. Or here we go again, Martin. That little thing, now we make some kind of a decision in the area of, I can't tell the truth or be fully myself because she will nail me. And since women have the ability to keep a scorecard, you don't know when you're going to pull in B17 7 years later and say something in response to something that happened 7 or 17 years ago, and we have no idea what happened.
I was going to ask you.
Talking about that, but not for the woman.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how does the past play in all this?
Unfortunately, the past, Susan, is given far too much power and prominence as to the power and possibility that is represented in mankind.
Yep.
We give it far too much power and possibility.
Yes.
It's why psychology may, in fact, begin to be antiquated right around now.
Yeah.
Because the premise of psychology is something is wrong or something happened that has impacted your life for a long time or forever. And that's not the truth. Because as soon as you're turned on to a future that you see as realistic, and that you could live into that future with all of your senses and smell it and feel it and touch it, that becomes so real. The actions and the conversation becomes so easy for you to live into. And before you know it, you're living your vision.
Yeah.
You didn't find him yet, or he didn't find you yet.
Yeah.
By the way, let men, I know I'm talking to maybe most of the heterosexual culture right now, but let him find you. Stop looking for him. Give it up. Because guess what? You're balanced enough now that you don't need him. You might want to choose him, but that's very different than you needing him.
Wow. That is so
Now we have a world of extraordinary harmony and possibility among women and men. Is that not maybe the one of the most important thing in the world besides your health and well-being and war and peace? What's more important?
Yeah.
And there be no conflict, no war against the number one domestic violence in the whole world, which is violence against women. And we think we have it handled in the United States? No. It's under wraps. You don't even get all the statistics. The government and local people are afraid to even reveal it. And women, probably 80% of them, don't even talk about it because they're going to be demeaned if they do.
Yeah.
If it sounds like I'm pro-women, I am. And why? Because, gentlemen, we are getting ripped off by not empowering women as the great, extraordinary resource and human beings they are as women.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you. That was so beautiful. And I really got your passion and your commitment to what women represent in our world. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Susan, for this opportunity to reach people I ordinarily would not have reached. And you can tell them about me. You can check out my website under Martin at martincohen.org, or you could call me directly and you'll be pleasantly surprised to see I'll pick up the phone, and if I don't, I would promise to get back to just say where you heard me is on, what's the name of it? Something, what is your program name, Susan?
Rewrite Your History,
Right.
How to Heal the Past, Create a Bold, Courageous Future.
So that's where you and I, who is calling me, that's where that came from, and it makes it easy because I know you may have heard me speak, or Susan might have said something to you about me, and hopefully you're going to see more of me because I will be collaborating with Susan, how you could have opportunities to connect with me.
Yes, yes, we will be certainly including out some emails, and there will be a link to he is offering an amazing contribution called it's a free ebook to all the viewers. He's gifting you The Courage to Love, and it's an ebook, and I will post the link for you to get that. And you are more than welcome to share your feedback, ask questions, and I'm sure Martin will love to respond.
I may sometimes give you a little bit of a longer answer to your question, but I'm unwilling to leave you hanging or incomplete.
Awesome.
You do that, follow Susan's instructions and listen to me read my book, Gender Balancing by Martin Calderon Cohen. Check the website out. And I promise you, there's no way that this will not have a significant impact on your life and your relationships. I'm reluctant to guarantee it, but I want to guarantee it.
I got that. Is there anything else that you would like to add that didn't get discussed in this conversation, Martin, to the viewers who are listening?
Yeah, there's no ceiling. There's no limit to the possibility of extraordinary intimate relationships. And when I say extraordinary intimate, sexuality is only one piece of it inside the communication and intimacy that I'm pointing to. That when you bring yourself to that point, you not only open up yourself and your partner, but you open up every aspect of your life, because your relationship now with yourself and others takes on a transformational, like an existential shift in who you know yourself to be as a woman and as a. So my audience are mostly highly conscious professional women and courageous men. And that group of courageous men, by the way, is increasing. And don't you dare think some women with two men who has one of your men. No, he is out there. And if you really allow him to come and you keep loving and respecting yourself profoundly, he's coming closer and closer, because you then develop a magnetic field. You become a magnetic field when you so deeply love and respect yourself that you will attract the like same. That kind of man will show up in your clearing. I promise.
Wow. Wow. That is so beautiful. Thank you. Martin, you are a blessing. Thank you so much for your sharing and your contribution to what you give to our planet. And I have to say that in my experience in watching a man transform is the most juicy and beautiful process that a woman can see.
Yes.
And embrace that, because it's not every day that a man will be vulnerable in sharing himself deeply. And so I've got to experience that firsthand, and I've witnessed it in many, many other occasions. And I think it's beautiful. And you are so right about feeling safe, especially coming from my own past of sexual abuse, not having a consistent father, having many men in my life, and then going through abuse. My husband, bless his heart, we are 21 years, has been the most patient with me. Don't get me started.
He's a smart man.
He has, yes, he has just through it all. People call us salt and pepper.
Susan, you created that and would not have it any other way.
That's right.
Look at the gift that God and the universe gave you.
Yes, and I'm so blessed.
Because you want to keep looking at acknowledging yourself. You've mastered invalidating yourself. Now get to the level that you continue acknowledging yourself as a treasure and a great woman.
Thank you.
And I'm talking more than just Susan. I'm talking all of you, and you know who I'm talking to.
Yes, that's right. It really took something for me to like I don't need validation. I don't need that.
You're validating yourself ongoingly to the point that that's true. That is who I am.
Yeah. So that was an eye-opener. That was so wonderful.
Well, the last thing I didn't say that I want to say is the relationships I zero in on is family, friends, the romantic. I don't even like to call romantic a relationship. It's more like a disease. Romantic, committed, and the one where my emphasis is on, and it speaks to women, called everlasting. and you want to understand where are you in those respective relationships. There's many women who are still stuck in family, and if they're not complete with their father and mother, it doesn't mean you have to like them, doesn't mean you have to love them, but you can feel an affinity and a respect for them, critical for you to be in great relationship. So mother and father, friendship is key to you being in friendship before you dare give up your body and being. Don't you dare until you discover yourself in another man.
Wow. Wow.
And then when you get to commitment, you understand that really what commitment is. As soon as you declare yourself committed, every place where you're not committed is going to arise because you said you're
right.
It is so crazy.
It is.
And I wonder what happened. Well, here's what happened. You declared you're in a committed relationship, like engaged or married. Well, try this one on. Every place you're incomplete or not committed will come up and right in your face, and you'll wonder, what happened? What is this? What marriage and relationship really is? No. Out of your declaration, we want to see how real that is, lady.
Yes, that's right. That is so right. Thank you so much, Martin, for being here today. I want to thank the viewers for being here. Your presence is what expands on what we are out to create in this planet. So the more we're talking about this, the more importance, the more ground we're taking. So thank you again for being here and listening and watching. Please grab the free ebook. It's a gift to you. And don't forget to come back tomorrow as we interview some other expert speakers, great coaches.
Other expert speakers as well?
Oh, yes.
I'm being facetious.
All right.
The speakers that Susan has selected has really been vetted to know that she's putting someone on and trusting them to work with great people. And I'm honored to be in the listening of all of you. And thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you. Thank you, Martin.
Okay, Namaste. Bye, everybody. Bye, Susan. Maybe sometime soon you and I can review this conversation and we could talk and tell secrets to each other about these people who are listening.